In the beginning, when we first started producing tomatoes, it was a big learning curve about growing and everything that we were doing. And we started to implement some of our own food safety protocols, but no official program had been developed or used by us yet. And we operated that way for the first few years, just learning as we were going. And we were supplying Calgary Co-op, we have been for the last 18 years. In 2004, we received a phone call from the Calgary Co-op, who we were supplying tomatoes to, and requesting a letter stating what our food safety program was.
When we received the request from the Calgary Co-op to give a letter stating basically what our food safety policies were and our growing practices, that prompted I guess a little trigger in the back of your head going, a letter just didn't seem like it was enough to fulfill all of that sort of information. So from that point, we started looking into, okay, what do we actually have written down? What do we actually have in place? And we started doing a little bit of research on what was going on in the industry and who was requesting what and where things were going. And we actually got a wind from a person that had been doing HACCP programs for the airline industry to get food on and off the airplanes. Was starting to develop greenhouse programs for areas around Edmonton and Lacombe. So we contacted Phil from Phil Hunt's Food Services and had him come down and just basically do a survey or interview with us and see where we were at and what we needed to do to create a Paradise Hill Farm on-farm food safety program. And with that sort of evolved into a major book because we followed a compliant HACCP program. So it was a great program, and it had some very high standards put into it because we felt that we needed to, if we were going to do a food safety program, we needed to be leading, not following. We went along with that and got our program, got our book built, and then the government came along, CFIA came along and said, there should be some programs developed. And basically the Canadian Horticulture Council started a food safety program, and then CanadaGAP got involved, and then the book came all along, and we needed to either blend with it or become the GAP program. And with some research and the help of Phil, a lot of help from Phil, we felt that it was necessary to use the GAP program as our baseline and incorporate some of the better things that we had come up with, or what we felt was better for Paradise Hill Farm, and put that into the program, and then continue the GAP program. And the GAP program's evolved right till 2018. And I mean, we're still rolling. We had an official audit last year in 2017. So I believe that was our third official audit for the GAP programs.
For growers who are just starting out on their food safety journey, I would get as much help as you can from consultants, from the government. Alberta government can help you get started. Resources like what we're doing right now, just as a beginning point. It can feel overwhelming when you look at the big book and you just, how am I going to get through this? And it's not so much a how am I getting through it, it's just starting and working through. It's not a process that's done. It's not like, here's my food safety thing, I'm done. It's evolving, and that was the biggest thing to wrap our heads around. Is we started here, we've built, we expand. It's continuing to evolve, and it's never finished.
The biggest piece of advice that I would have for other growers is that when you develop a food safety program, whether it be your own or I mean, you definitely need to have your own going to get GAP going, because you have to have a baseline of something. Or if you're going to follow the GAP one, you need to have someone that's familiar with GAP come to you and help you out with that start. But the bigger piece of advice is to make sure that all of your employees and anyone that's working with you understands the program and truly believes that the program needs to be there. Because without your employees and without the staff that you have buying into the program 110%, it's going to be a very tough uphill battle.